This alone is wild too, and funny enough, I have like this whole thing. Let's get this open on another tab just in case, because what Hassan said is wild after this whole thing about ice. So if nobody was aware of it, uh, from on his from my understanding last week, my understanding is that like this guy Alex Preety was shot and killed in Minnesota. Uh, he was disarmed and shot for whatever reason. It was a gross use of ice ice power. Everybody's covering it. It's not great to see it happen to where a are they even are ICE agents law enforcement? During an ICE raid, ICE appear at a work site. Okay, this is from dealing with ICE in the workplace. Hold on. ICE agents appear at work sites without previous notice. Oh. ICE officials are federal law enforcement officers. All ICE law enforcement officers go through extensive academy training to do their job safely and effectively as possible. Even if that's on a .gov website, I don't believe that's true because of the Renee Good situation, and that in itself is wild to where, for all intents and purposes, it makes sense to where if the agent who's in front of a car feels like their life is threatened by the revving of an engine going towards them, they don't know how if the person's flooring it. So it's the equivalent to somebody flinching when they think that their life is in danger. And in that instance, when Renee Good was put down by the ICE agent felt like his life was in danger because the car was coming towards his way. That is true. It is also true that as soon as you learned how to walk, you were taught from a very early age to not be in front of a moving vehicle or any potential vehicle that could be moving. Those two things can happen. And that's the craziest thing. Our ICE agents, law enforcement, they're not police officers, although their uniforms may say police or federal agents. Some local police or other law enforcement accompany them on raids, but do they require guns? Do require to be armed? Are they required to be armed? They're authorized to carry firearms as part of their duties. But again, like the whole Alex Pretty situation is both inconsistent, and we're still learning the news because it's like very recent. But the reason why I'm pulling up Yuri Lowenthal is his message. And if you guys don't know, he was the voice of Sasuke. He was the voice of Ben 10. He was, importantly, the voice of Spider-Man. And I love, and like it resonates to me in the back of my head. It sounds like Spider-Man's talking, so let's hear what he has to say.
We must speak out. We must speak out against injustice. I know that this is not new for large swaths of the American people. But every day that we stay silent, it makes it easier for them to shoot us in the streets and round us up and genocide entire peoples. We must speak out. And we have to take care of each other. I implore you, if you are an American citizen, call this next week, every day, call your senators and tell them no more money for ICE. No more. We will not stand for it. And please, take care of each other. Look, I know it's going to be uncomfortable. I don't like calling those people. I don't like getting angry at people on the phone, but they need to know Get used to getting uncomfortable, because this is not normal. This is not how it's supposed to be. And the more we strive for normal, the easier we make it for them. So please, take care of each other, help each other, be excellent to each other. We're all we have. But I believe that most people do not want this. And we need to let them know that. So please, be kind to each other and speak out. Document this. Film this. Boycott. Whatever you can do. Now is the time.
I will say that for as much as I love Yuri Lowenthal's message, and it's very true, what he says is very true to where the best thing that you can do if you don't have power on your own is to document. The best thing, if you don't have power to act, if you don't have the power to step in, you do have the power to represent. That is, I mean, if you don't have the power to step in, you have the power to represent. If you are able to civically, is it civically? Is the word civically? Civically. What is it? What's the word? There's a word I'm looking for. Is to. If you have the word. If you have the ability to. Safely act. If you're able. What am I thinking of? Because like that's if you ability to do to safely act, it is your responsibility to do so. Yeah, it isn't. It's within our own it's within our own responsibilities to act, because, like Great Uncle Ben has said, with great power comes great responsibility, and your power could mean a whole lot of things. It doesn't have to mean you go and publicly, like, physically go out there. In this case, Alex Pretty didn't plan on getting shot. He didn't know he was going to get shot. His every intention was to go out and just help people. And from recorded information of the videos that I can't show online, because it's like term services and stuff like that, right? It's violent videos that I can't produce, and I don't intend on looking it up at the moment. Allegedly, some of his last words were to ask the girl who was pushed down prior to the altercation with Alex Breedy and the ICE agents were, "Are you okay?" Those were the last things he said when she was pushed down. He got in between the ICE agent and the fallen individual, and before he was acted on by ICE officials, the last thing he said was, "Are you okay?" Now, why do people misrepresent him other than to put the people that you're trying to protect in a better light? The point of gaslighting is to protect somebody. normally for like bad faith actions. So some people have not represented Alex pretty in good context, and that's like terrible. But I do want to like break up some of the like the morbid things about it to where like, hey, here's this thing. If I tries Yuri Lowenthal, they're gonna see like interaction window. I think that's pretty funny. I think I love that. I think that's pretty funny. The heroes would say, yeah, that's true, buddy. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He's not advocate. But that's great. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean dragging characters? He's not advocating for violence. He's advocating for like peaceful means of expressing concerns regarding the ICE agents, regarding the Minnesota incident. It's wild. If a man speaking out against illegal murder is dragging the characters down, then I think the person who should stop you is yourself. Would Spider-Man honestly would go out there and just like stop some of the ICE agents, because he is the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He's for those communities. He's the hero that's meant to be like on the ground, on the boots on the ground for the little guy. He protects the little guy. He protects for those that can't protect themselves, and it's wild. And that's why it's like, what do you mean no one cares about his opinion? Like, yeah, the fact that he made a comment shows that you have enough of an opinion to comment. Yeah, if you care enough, you commented. But let's see some of the reposts from Culture Crave, because it's important to like see. Hopefully, there's any good like representation. Okay. This is one way to speak out. Disarming of ICE agents, that's definitely important. Seeing YouTube people lose their shit to the song Black and Indigenous. Okay, I what? Biblically accurate Spider-Man. Alright, that's my Spider-Man. Hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah, buddy. Well, for all intents and purposes, it's one thing to encourage protective activities, protective actions. It's one thing to like preach like, hey, if somebody's down on the ground, the easiest you can do is ask, can you help, and reach out your hand. That's the sometimes easiest and hardest things to do. It's a lot easier to gaslight, and it's a lot easier to ignore when it doesn't put yourself in the way. So I think some of these things is a little bit funny, and but again, like, it's just really crazy. But yeah, just it's multi-partial, but like, I don't know. But I'm thankful that Yuri like mentioned this, so a little crazy. This was on the timeline as well. Okay, Barack Obama says something. The killing of Alex Pretty is heartbreaking, breakingly tragic. It should also be a wake-up call to every American, regardless of party, that many of our core values as a nation are increasingly under assault. Hold on, let me just hold on. I'm doing my own thing. Hold on, sorry. Oh, that's not what I want. Sorry. I'm a little distracted, my apologies. But yeah, like statement by President Obama and Miss Obama from yesterday. The killing of Alex Pretty is a heartbreaking tragedy. It should also be a wake-up call to every American, regardless of party, that many of our core values as a nation are increasingly under attack. Federal law enforcement and immigration agents have a tough job, but Americans expect them to carry out their duties in a lawful, accountable way, and to work with, rather than against, state and local officials to ensure public safety. That is not what we're seeing in Minnesota. We're seeing the opposite. For weeks now, people across the country have been rightfully outraged by the spectacle of masked ICE agents and other federal agents acting with impunity and engaging in tactics that seem designed to intimidate, harass, provoke, and engage the residents of a major American city. These unprecedented tactics, which even the former top lawyer of Department of Homeland Security in the first Trump administration has characterized as embarrassing, lawful, and cruel, has now resulted in the fatal shooting of two citizens, including Renee Good and Alex Pretty. Yet, rather than trying to impose some semblance of discipline and accountability over the agents they deployed, the president and current administration seem eager to escalate the situation, while offering public explanations for the shooting of Mr. Pretty and Renee Good that aren't informed by any serious investigation, and that appears to be directly contradicting the video evidence. This has to stop. I would hope that after this most recent tragedy, administration officials will reconsider their approach and start finding ways to work constructively with Governor Walz and Mayor Frey, as well as state and local police, to avert more chaos and achieve legitimate law enforcement. In the meantime, every American should support and draw inspiration from the wave of peaceful protests in other parts of the country. There is a timely reminder that ultimately it's up to each of us as citizens to speak out against injustice, protect our basic freedoms, and hold our government accountable. And it's crazy that some of all this is just crazy to believe that what do you mean he's trying hard to stay relevant? Gee, what do you mean? Your core values as a nation are... that's a even for Josh. I don't know who you are, Josh, but that's a gross representation of the American ideal, because America has not been good lately, but the core values of America were founded on the idea of truth, justice, and the American dream. And sometimes America doesn't represent what it fought for 200 years ago. It's crazy to where 200 years ago, this is not what America fought for when they gained their independence. It's just wild to see. This unbest deported wait, what do you mean? Wait, what the I mean, it's it's a thing to where two things are happening to where it's one thing is where it's crazy that this has to happen, but I don't know. I'm not normally a political reader and poster, but there's ideals that we try to represent despite what actually happens. For all intents and purposes, we don't go out in public to harm people. That's the ideal. The ideal for most students, for example, they go to school to go home. We go to work to go home, and some people, it's as simple as that. It's crazy, and I don't know why. I honestly don't know how I got here, but this from Barack Obama says a lot. Take this information as you will. I'm sure people in the comments will tell me otherwise, but in my opinion, as the child of immigrants, America was meant to be a representative of truth, justice, and the American dream. And sometimes America doesn't represent themselves very well. Sometimes people don't do a good job representing each other. But on the ground floor of like this conversation, someone got pushed. Alex made the attempt to see if they were okay, and he was punished by being ganged up on by several ICE agents, and based on footages you can find on your own, 5-6 agents put him down. One of them took his firearm from his waist, which the Second Amendment says we have the right to bear arms. He did not have his hand on the gun during the entire incident. And the moment someone said gun, because he was trying to take that away from that incident, when one ICE agent took the gun away from the incident, another person made their own decision to shoot an unarmed man that was ganged up on by 5 other individuals. And from my understanding, he was not resisting. He was on the ground. He was resisting to a certain degree because, of course, when you're in pain, that just kind of happens, right? But in no instance was a gun in Alex's hand during the shooting. Because Asmongold, like on his video, did a whole a diagram of it himself, to where, did he have a gun? Yes. And then the next thing, did he reach for it? And 2 things happen. Either, yes he did, therefore he'll say rip bozo, or if he didn't reach it and he still got shot, then that's an illegal action from that ICE agent, and it was a gross use of their power. So, I don't know. This thing is still developing. This is like incredibly wild, and I will probably get things wrong. But again, what first got me here was Yuri Lowenthal, and then this happened. Yeah, I don't know how we got here, guys.